What's up, everybody? Welcome to OCD, or the Outriders Community Depot. This will be the official first episode, I think, because we went and did 0.5 last time. So we're here. The game's out. We did it.
Finally, we can stop. We can
made
stop
it.
the podcast.
It's done. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Over.
We'll see you next
It's all
time.
done now.
Appreciate everyone who watched, support. Our Patreon has gotten no money yet, so thanks a lot.
All 30 views on YouTube.
My OnlyFans is going hard, though.
Well, you are.
Yeah,
Because I'm always hard.
So we're about a week out from launch. It's been a week.
Yeah.
How long have you
6 days.
played, and what are your thoughts, or what's your like very vague impression? Like yes, no, right in the middle. Kalen.
So I just got back from vacation, so I haven't got a lot of time to put into it, but I've probably got 7 to 8 hours into it so far, and I'm digging it a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with the builds and the customization of the armor and the weapons so far. Obviously some disconnecting issues, but overall I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
Nice. Kyle?
I would have to agree. Pretty much verbatim. It's a lot of fun. The story is absolutely wonderful. I've had a bit more time than Kalen has to put into the game, into the kind of the character customization and the story bits that obviously I've gotten a bit further. I love it. Obviously, there are connectivity issues that he mentioned, but in my opinion, it's phenomenal. I have had nothing but fun in it.
You're like level what? You've made it like 20 something?
I just hit 23, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So me and Kalen are about the same spot. I think I'm like maybe in 2 hours behind him. I think I hit like 6 hours. I'm at level like 13. And so far I am kind of the opposite. I don't hate the game by any means. Kalen thought I was going to come in and say I hated it. I don't hate it, but there are a lot of things that I'm just really not a fan of. And we'll get into that. But I did make it to a point where I was kind of flip-flopping. Like I said, I fought that one boss, and I was like, okay, that was cool. That was like my first big. I did like
What
that.
boss?
So the very first, the spider boss. That was where I was kind of like, okay, that was fun. That was different. Way more than I was expecting from what was happening there. But so I'm right in the middle somewhere. But we'll get right into what our first point was: combat and builds. So
Yep.
we're all running the same classes we did from the beta, right?
I've touched on 2 classes that I didn't really get to mess with a whole lot in the beta, but I did keep my main character, which was the trickster, from demo to main game.
Okay.
So that is
Yeah,
my
I'm pretty much
character.
I'm pretty much sticking with the Devastator unless I play with Kyle or someone else. I want my Devastator to be the one that I uncover shit. Like, I want to be farther with the main character than I do with my side characters. So easy to miss dialogue and miss shit when you're just too busy running around.
Right. And that's,
Agreed.
we'll get back to that because that's one of my big things. I'm same. I went with my level 7 Technomancer and just went from there. I almost wanted to start over and go Pyromancer from the beginning just to replay the initial part. I think I got like 36 seconds into that and then just turned it off and went back to my character.
Interesting. Technomancer is way more fun than Pyromancer in my opinion.
Well, I saw a build called the Fire Witch. That was like one of the builds they like touted, and I was like, oh wow, that looks cool. But again, I didn't like what I was playing, and I didn't want to start over from the beginning.
Right.
So as far as like builds go, do you feel like, or I guess how are you building your character? So I'm going kind of I'm going tech shaman, and I'm going like kind of tanky right now just because I'm not playing with anyone. So I was dying like all the time.
So I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I did see a video online that was like, hey, if you're automatically upgrading your world tier, like if you have that turned on, turn it off because you did
Yes.
not want that to happen. And it was just
it
doing it
does
for me.
increase the enemies. I mean, once you start getting in, so Kalen and I were talking about it earlier. It starts at what, Kalen? -2, -3?
-2, I believe, and then once you get World Tier 3, they're at 0, so they're at the same level as you, and then they +1 every time you go on after that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're at World Tier 8, which is like a +5 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it is, I mean, so it's like, for me, once you start, like, I think, what is it? I have my character pulled up actually right now.
Well, and I'd like to
My,
say, I think it's harder for it's really hard for the Technomancer to solo stuff because you
Yeah.
only regenerate health with like class abilities. Like the Devastator, you just got to kill them up close, like whether it's melee, weapon, or any ability. Like it's so easy. Like you die quick or you lose health quick, but you get that health really fast back if you're able to just take them out in a close vicinity. So like those are like, I think they made it more like solo-y classes and not solo-y classes, which is
Yeah.
kind of shitty and like it sucks because you can't.
it's
I
not,
mean, you
not
can't.
every class is viable to play solo.
It's like when I was trying to fight the Akari, which is like that big spider. I had nothing for that monster. Like I basically had shotguns and fucking close abilities, which are meant for shitloads of people, and I had to like take my world tier down like 3 levels just to beat that fucking thing. I'm also a rage quitter. I don't put in the work. So
Nope, fuck this.
yeah, I died twice on the world tier I was on, and then I dropped it down one, died 2 more times on that. And I was like, fuck it, world tier 4, I don't care.
Dang.
And then I went all the way down there, and I still had a hard time because like I just wasn't set up for that, and I didn't know. But like, so it's kind of the similar thing. The Devastator fucks shit up. Like right now, I'm just run. If there's guys that shoot bullets at me, I just run through them because of my build that I'm going with right now, which is working really well for me. But as soon as it gets to monsters with only melee, I have to start dodging a lot more, and I get close to death a lot more.
Dang. Yeah, I was up to. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just gonna touch on that as well. As like I just and Kalen fucking heard me yelling and fucking screaming at the game. I was just in a boss fight at World Tier 8 and was getting my ass kicked on what I had been using up until then on the builds. Like all of my armor is all the mods are allocated to skills that I use. They buff everything that that I'm using currently, and then it's like all of my guns have mods that are like regenerate health, grant shield, and then the bonus because I have all purples, so it's like I have 2 mods in every gun. But it's like no matter what I did, whatever strat I used, it didn't work, just because this bitch was so accurate, I guess, on all of her abilities. And anytime I tried to get up close, she had a fucking ability to counter what I was doing or to push me away and just deal massive damage. And I ended up having to turn my world tier down just to fucking get through it.
Yeah.
But as soon I just pushed it down 1 level, and as soon as I did, I shredded
Destroyed her.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened to me. Is I had like one mission where I was at 5, I went up to 6, I was playing 6. It was harder, but I was getting it. And then I had one mission where like I was just getting destroyed by like what seemed like the regular like little assault rifle dudes, not even the big guys. Like just like I would get caught by one dude and he would like shred me, and I was like, wait, I don't understand. So I turned it down, deleted everybody on that level, and then turned it back up. But it was just like, well, why did I just get caught by that?
So I do appreciate the fact that you can change your world tier mid arena per se. It's like, all right, this was a little hard. I've died 5 times to this, so I'm gonna dial it back 1, kill everything, get to the boss, dial it back up to see if what I can do against this boss or against the final encounter, essentially. And at that point, make the determination whether or not you need to dial it back down, or if you are dealing enough damage to get through the final encounter, or staying alive long enough to get through all the ads and final boss.
But you can lose. You just found that you can lose world tier level too by dying too many times.
I did see that.
So you don't lose a whole tier. So it's like if you're at tier 8, it won't push you back to 7 if you drop all the way down if you die enough.
You
It
just have
will
to start
drop you
over.
to the very beginning of the world tier, but it won't take like so. For example, if I'm at world tier 8 and I die so many times to where it pushes me all the way down to the beginning, it won't push me back to 7. It'll just keep me there, and then I make the decision personally to dial myself back to 7. And at that point, I mean, you're not going to die. You're just
Yeah.
hopefully you're not going to die. You're going to shred through everything.
But,
But that is neat that you can do that.
Yeah, I do like that. That was kind of another one of the things with like combat and stuff. My only qualm with it as a whole is I feel like the shooting is great, the mods are great, the way you build your character is great. I don't like how it seems like in every level or like arena, you can shoot one mob and then they all just come running at you. Is that
So
through the whole game?
So, I mean, what are you talking about? So it's like there are the creatures, and then there are the people, the altered, and the like legions of
Yeah.
actual opposition of people, not the altered creatures and shit.
So
So
the very
they
first
do
level
have.
where you find the
Go ahead.
birds.
Yeah.
Okay, so right before that, I tested it. I was like, I'm gonna just stand at the entrance to this area. I'm gonna shoot one mob, and then I'm just gonna just stay here. I'm not gonna move. And they just ran, and they ran, and they ran, and they ran, and they just kept coming until I cleared the whole level. Like I didn't have to progress further into the level. And then when I killed them all, I just walked through the level and went to the next area.
But you can't go back. You can't go back to a previous because they're like, oh, don't bring. Says like, don't bring enemies to your friends, and then it gives
Yeah.
you a counter.
Only if enemies are chasing you.
But
Oh.
it seems like they never
But-
stop.
So they do. You know,
There's a.
I've never. I don't think I've sat back. I don't think I've sat back long enough to see whether or not enemies keep spawning. I have noticed. I mean, from what I've played, there's a horde of enemies that spawn and will.
and then you clear them.
I clear it, and then I push forward, and nothing else spawns up until the next stage or wherever the next spawn is, and then they'll do the same thing. It'll be a horde of enemies. I'll clear them out, and then it'll go to like either a boss encounter or a mini boss encounter, and then it'll have random enemies spawn, but the main guys are there.
Right.
But I haven't had an issue with just unlimited fucking.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
No, it's not like that it never ends. It's just that you can clear the whole area without moving. You know how like in WoW, if you're running a dungeon, you move forward, you grab a pack, you kill him. You move forward, you grab a pack, you kill him. You turn this corner, there's a pack there, you kill him. It's kind of the same in Destiny where you go up and then something crawls out of a hole and you're like, oh, I gotta fight this. I move up and then there's some things. Like I don't have to do that. And I don't, you know what I mean?
So I think that is only on the creature, because the enemy types on the creatures are like little fucking prawny little creatures that will run. They chase you. They don't have any melee. They're ranged. They just do melee attacks that are almost nothing.
The Perfuro.
And then I don't know the names. That is your job.
Pretty sure it's like
he's got it.
Yeah,
I prefer them.
But then you know, in those encounters, they do have the bigger enemies that will either chase you, or what I've noticed, the long range shots, they shoot poison balls at you that they do stay at a distance. They don't chase you unless obviously you push back,
right,
or retreat back, and they will. I mean, at that point, push forward to a certain distance and just sit there and spit poison balls at you. But with the with like the altered enemies or the soldier enemies, they do not push except for the exclusive like brutes that chase you and melee you to death. Those soldiers will hold their ground and they will not push unless you retreat. And only up at that point, only up to a certain extent, because they have guns. They don't have to rely on a melee exclusive combat system.
I guess what I'm saying is more aggro. So there's never an instance where you don't have aggro, but you're still in a position where you could, you know what I mean? Like maybe they're like walking and they haven't seen you yet, or like they're just standing
So
in the camp and like hanging
The only
out.
times I've ever noticed where you don't have aggro is when you first encounter an area.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
very first shot, you always have aggro after.
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what
as
I'm
soon
talking
as you
about.
shoot something.
Yeah, you always
or
have
as soon as
aggro.
they would see you.
Yeah. But that's something that like I feel like you could up your difficulty by a lot more if you could strategically fight, but like once you pull one guy and you're on a world tier that's too high, you're getting deleted. Like
Fucking shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to run
100%.
around and like
It's
avoid
insane.
everything you can.
And I mean, at that point, the map orientation, they do make it to where you can strategically kind of place yourself either here or over here and
Uh-huh.
around, like you have whatever barricades or barriers you have in between yourself and your enemies. Um, but they I mean, still at the same point, they are still act like they still don't stop firing. I have noticed though that if you can manage to kind of hide yourself away, they will keep shooting in that same spot. So it gives you like a very minimal window to kind of pull off a shot with before they see you
Mhm.
or before they start shooting at you again,
Right.
whenever you change position. But I don't know if that answered anything. I kind of went on a ramble there, but
No, yeah, I mean that Kalen said it. It's like you never don't have aggro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Seems
just
like it's
an
not that kind of
onslaught.
game where you sneak, and it's not the kind of game where you lose aggro. It's just
yeah,
like
Yeah.
there's no
once you
just-
activate the enemies, they're there.
Outriders seems to me nothing like Destiny. It's more like Diablo.
people are tired of this game being compared to any other game. Because I mean, yeah, there are similarities here and there. They do take portions of the take cover, the running, the third person shooting would be like Division. The barricade cover would be like Gears. The gear system is similar to Destiny. It's like it is not like any of those games though. It is its own entity. It is its own game.
It's trying to carve out its own niche.
It is exactly. It is entirely different than all of these games as a whole. They do have bits and pieces here and there that are similar in aspect to these other games, but people are tired of, especially, and I'm saying the big streamers, the big game players, they're tired of this game being compared to Destiny,
Yeah.
which is the big one, is Destiny.
Fuck them.
But I agree, it's like it's not those games,
Right, and that's
It's
what
Destiny
entirely
2.
different.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
And I
Destiny
guess
3.
that's what I'm saying in the sense
Destiny
that
3,
like
right.
it reminds me, and after playing it, I thought it was going to be a Destiny thing, but after
Yeah,
playing it, I'm like, this is way more Diablo than Destiny. Like
It is. I
Yeah.
get heavy Diablo feels.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. I like Diablo.
I do. I love Diablo.
And entirely with like the loot system, the way Diablo works, and the world tier system is like, as Kalen has explained to me, I believe, it's like the way the
The
loot
Paragon
drops,
levels?
the way you control how difficult the game is in world tiers and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're exactly. And
But
also,
I never played Diablo, so I can't
it's so
I
much
can't
fun.
entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, when I saw the weapon mods, like the crafting, I was like, it looks like a cell phone game. You know how it's like you get a 2-star card, and then you can make it a 3-star card after you do all this shit, and then you can up the rarity and do all this and this. I was like, God damn it! But then I started
Fucking
fucking
gotcha.
around with it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But then I started fucking around with it and saw how cheap everything is. Like, I'm like, oh, let's see how much it is to remove a mod. I'm like, oh, 70 leather. I have 6,000. Fuck yeah. So it's like, I really like it. I don't think it's worth, upping the rarity so early in the game, but I do like that that's a thing. Or like even with the attributes, like the max health and all that stuff. I like that you can do that, and I like how the shards work. You just keep collecting those shards as you go, and I really like that because I don't think I've seen that. I haven't in any game before. And
I have zero shards so far.
No. You do. You have a fuckload. They don't show up beside it. If you hover your cursor over the shards, then you'll see you have plus 600 max health ones. You have this many of this one, this many of this one, and it goes down.
Okay. So it's like, I have the game pulled up right now, so I had never done that. I was just expecting a number to pop up like it does
So
with
you
all
can
the other items.
go into one of your weapons right now,
Or
and you can
resources.
see that you can raise those attributes if you want to. Is it
Yeah.
worth it? You have purple, so it might be worth it, but I'd say obviously hold those for the orange or legendary, whatever they call it.
Yeah, the whole set.
But yeah, so like I've been fucking around with it just to see, like I've been doing it here and there, and just to see how fast you accumulate them back. And like I think I had 300 max hit points. I think it costs 50 to level that up two or three times, and I did it, and then I already am back to like 300 just because you have to like But I'm always on deleting. I'm always deleting my shit. I don't hold on to stuff
Clear
at all.
inventory
Yeah.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle is the other way around. He has full inventory at all fucking times.
Yeah,
No,
I had
I'm
to go
like
through
you.
and delete a bunch of shit just because it was like I was trying to pick something. I was like, why the fuck can't I pick this up? I was like, I was missing the little hint indicator. It was like, oh, your inventory's full. I was like, fuck.
Oh my
But
god.
Yeah, I do. I really like the mod system for the guns and the armor. It's really
quality.
fun, and
Nice.
it makes the build really fucking intricate and
Mhm.
more personal.
I've only ran into one mission where like there's that one where I got like hard stuck and I couldn't beat the mission, but like I said, I lowered it down, beat it, and then went on.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, as far as builds and stuff, my build is still really, really minimal. I've just been messing with the different mods and stuff. I did find one mod that I really liked. It was called like Chains of Woe or something, where
Yep.
it's just like a chain dot that like goes on anybody you shoot.
They have a chain one. They have a temporal blade one. Trying to think off the top of my head. Those are, I think those are the only two that I can think of.
and these are
So
all
it's
just
like,
tier 1 mods too,
yeah.
because there's 2 more levels that we haven't even gotten to yet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the I think the mods come and go. So it's like the more or tier one mods will drop on blue gear. Tier two mods will drop on. Let me double check. Let me look at my fucking gear
You get
order.
tier 2 and tier 1 probably on purple gear, and then probably
Yes.
legendary you get tier 3 and below, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yes. Purple gear will be 1, 2, and then tier 3 will be on legendary.
Nice.
So, at least from what I'm looking at right now, let me take a double. Yeah. So it's like my legendaries have tier 3 mods, but I haven't dismantled them yet, so I don't have those in my inventory to choose from.
Right.
Yeah.
So, um, at that point, we are still limited on what we are experiencing on mod wise.
Yeah.
But they are there. I just haven't dismantled any of my purple gear yet to give me those mods yet.
Nice. So what are you doing as far as build goes, Kalen?
So right now I've like between the 3 skills that I have, I think the very first skill you get is called Earthquake, where you just like hit the ground and it like shoots a cone of damaged earth in front of you, which is what I'm still sticking with for one of them. And it does like mine says 306 damage. I don't know if that goes up every level. I bet it does. So the 306 damage is probably arbitrary at this point, but it's also an interrupt, which is really nice. I have that, and then I have another one called Reflect Bullets, which I really, really, really like. You basically just pop a shield in front of you, and you don't get hit at all from any bullet being fired at you, except for I have noticed the beasts, like the birds, they were shooting ice feathers at me. Those were hurting me. So it's like actual bullets from a gun, but it stops all of them. And then after about, I think it's 12 seconds, it gathers all the damage and then accumulates it and then pops it back out to the enemies.
Oh,
so you
wow.
just sit there soaking up all this damage and you don't get any of it, and then it sends it right back out. And then so that one's the second ability. And then the third one I just got today. It was called Tremor, and it sends out a series of explosions, which I think is just 3, and they do damage. And then I think a third of that damage you steal back in health. So if you're surrounded by enemies, it just keeps pulsing out damage, and then you're hurting them all, but then you're gathering a third of that damage from each one and popping it back to you.
Nice.
So I really like that one. So those are the 3 basic skills, and then I've been messing with the mods, and I kind of have like a set of 5 that I've only accumulated so far. It might change obviously when I get more, but the mods that I've been using I really like. I have one that's just called Extra Quake. So instead of just using the Earthquake skill once, it gives me a counter of 2 before it starts its cooldown.
Oh,
so
nice.
that's really handy for the interrupt. Another mod I have is called The Strongest First, and it's for the Reflex Bullets skill. And basically, the enemy with the most health, whenever you send those bullets back out, it takes 50% more damage. So it sends it all to everybody, but whoever's the biggest, strongest guy with the most health will get. It's either the biggest, strongest guy or whoever happens to have the most health. Which, if none of them have any damage, but if none of them have any damage onto them, I'm assuming the one with the biggest health bar would take
Would make
50%
sense.
more damage, because I always
Yeah.
pop that before I even do anything. Like as soon as I basically, my strategy is I run in, I hide for cover until they all kind of like, because it takes them a minute to get all separated before they start firing on you, and then
Yeah.
I just sit there and wait, and then as soon as they all start shooting, then I pop that and they all just start fucking plugging the shield, which is really, and then you see it all go out, and then like I've actually killed like 6 enemies at once without even firing a bullet, just from that one skill, which
Jeez.
is really nice. And then I have another one called Extra Time for the reflect bullets, and it just increases the duration by 20%. One called Panzer Drain. It's for the earthquake, and it steals 33% of their armor and gives it to me for about 5 seconds, which is a nice. So I'm basically going tank. I just want to survive, and that's all. That's it. And then the
that's
last,
a nice way to run solo.
yeah, it's a great way. And the last one is called Armor Boost, and earthquake again. It gives 395 armor, but that number is arbitrary. It gives a shitload of armor for each enemy affected, and it lasts 8 seconds, and it can stack up to 10 times. So the more you like, so for every enemy affected by it, it starts to stack up to 10, and you just get more armor from that.
Nice.
So that's kind of like how I've been running my character. Pretty much, I just run in, activate that shield wall, and hope to take out as many people as possible. And I was teleporting to them with that one skill that you turn into rocks and then you shoot towards them. But I just said fuck it. Instead of just sitting back, I just activate that shield and just slowly walk up to them. And then once that's over, then I just fucking hit the ground a bunch and then make the tremor and gain my health and armor back. So it's really fun.
Super
But
tanky.
it also helps to have an automatic shotgun. That is kind of key.
Boom, boom,
Because
boom.
those
Those
are
automatic
awesome.
shotguns are fucking in. They deal. It's just like
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Insane amount of DPS.
The only thing that's more ridiculous than that is the automatic sniper rifles.
Those
So-
are fun too.
It's just like
either
headshots.
the automatic or the 3-round burst ones. Kalen was having a lot of fun with the 3-round burst one.
I
while
like
we
the
were
burst.
playing.
If you put the poison bullets on those, it was eating
Nasty.
the fuck out of
Shredding.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Shredding.
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
having so much fun because like I could see him. Basically, it was a game of if I could kill them before Kyle got to them.
Yeah.
Because then they die. So like I was trying like my best like with bosses to try and shred as much of their health before Kyle got up to him, and it worked a few times. Like where I was like I saved that the poison damage until I saw a boss, but I'd be way back with an automatic sniper or a 3-round burst sniper and just try to take them out real quick, and it was a lot of fun.
It was effective as fuck. That's for sure.
When I
don't like
when I was farming the captains during the demo, that's exactly what I would do. I'd throw out my frost turret, and as soon as it would freeze the captain, I would just pop the bullets and just he couldn't move, so it was just headshot, and just deleted.
I don't like how hard it is to aim the turret or the grenade. Like you have to arch it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
It's difficult.
Yeah, I just don't like the aiming with those. Like it was a little bit of a bitch.
Yeah,
because you can't see what you're hitting because you have to like aim your screen up to get like a good arch. It's like I don't know. I hope they're not fucking moving. So I guess we'll see.
And with the mortar ability from Technomancer, it starts. It's like so you arch it here. You arch it, and it's like it starts hitting early, and then it goes further. Back.
Oh, that one you don't even throw. Like that one you just like you hit the button. Or actually, I haven't tried to throw that one. Never mind.
You don't throw it. You can.
Yeah, you just pop it. You hit the button and you pop it out right beside you, and then it just goes in a straight line, like all the way back.
Okay,
so
but it's like it starts here and then it ends here.
Yeah,
it's
so
supposed to keep going farther in the line.
Yeah.
But like if someone moves, like if someone teleports, you're like, fuck. Well, I just wasted that whole ability.
Or if you set it behind a wall, it just shoots into the wall for a second.
Yeah.
So that's shitty.
And that shit sucks. That one's a tough one to get used to. Really cool, but I was happy to get rid of it for the Tools of Destruction one.
Yeah.
Because I like that minigun. That's really fun.
Fair.
What else do we got? Guns? Do you have any really, really cool guns you like yet? No legendaries? Nobody?
I have actually managed Rarog's Gaze. It is a rifle.
Rarog's
Gaze. With a little
umlaut. Apostrophe.
Yeah. Over the O, tilde. There we go. G apostrophe S Gaze. But it's just it's a single fire rifle or a single shot rifle. That looks cool as fuck. I mean, the way it looks is awesome. I love the way their exotics or legendaries look. But I love the way they look, and I've seen many over Twitter and social media and everything, and they all look phenomenal. I mean, I've seen ones that I obviously never heard of before, but they all look phenomenal. The gun itself, I mean, is all right. It's just basically a fucking scout rifle, but which, in my opinion, the scout rifles are hard to use just because it's like the enemies move so much, and there's like a delay, obviously, just like the time delay between your shot and where it is hitting. So it's like half the time I'm shooting and they have already made 2 or 3 steps and I
Yeah.
miss and it's just by a fucking hair, you know.
Right.
But that's the only legendary I've got so far. And I mean, it was fun. I kind of acclimated to using it just because I was like, I'm gonna use this gun, and it was the highest level weapon I had at the time. But other than that, I've just gotten a bunch of purples. Which I do want to make a note on, which I think I marked right. Yeah, marked in my notes. The vendors are actually useful. They're viable resources for guns and stuff because they do sell purples. They do sell pieces of gear or weapons that you might not have had, or um, uh, certain parts of sets. If you are into accumulating the whole sets of gear.
Mm-hmm.
That the end is on a rotary basis, so you can go check them out or go check the vendor out, come back an hour or 2 hours later, I don't know what the timer is on it, and they'll have a completely like a specialized weapon, or set of weapons or whatever, and it's actually useful to
Yeah.
purchase
It's
guns.
good gear too. Like I was watching someone
Yeah.
play the other day and he was just randomly went over to like show the vendor off, and the gun that was there was like beat the shit out of his gun in DPS, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Holy
Yeah.
crap. Like I'm glad I came over here and looked at
100%.
this." But
But yeah, other than that, I haven't really I haven't had much luck on legendary drops, but
yeah.
also when it matters, I do end up dropping the fucking world tier uh, a level down, which does affect your drop rate and your RNG. So is what that is. But I think I will have a full set of purple minus the pants. So I'm one gear piece away from having all purples. So
Nice.
hell yeah.
All right. So we like combat, we like builds, we like gears, guns, mods, all that shit's cool. Let's talk about what I don't like.
Yay! I've been
That's
waiting
all
to
you,
hear
Stevie.
it.
Yep, let's hear it. That's all
All
you,
right.
bro.
I hate
Disagree. I disagree.
You're wrong.
You do not hate the lore. Like I despise how they do lore in this game.
Oh, 100%, 100%. The lore is fucking pointless, 100%. Because you get people die. The only reason I had a thought. The only reason. So, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Lore, like in Dragon Age and stuff, they have the whole codex where it goes over all this shit, and you can just get hours and hours and hours of reading.
Yeah.
The reason I think that they have lore over enemies you've already beaten, because it is a Diablo in this sense, to where you're going to be replaying these missions quite a bit over and over at higher difficulties and stuff like that. Kind of like an instance in WoW and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
knowing a background of them, you've unlocked it. It's extra there, but I think that's why. I don't know. I digress.
Here's what my note says: shit lore mechanic, and it says that because when I'm running around a level and I see the little blue fluttery letters, I go, "Ooh, that's lore. I want to go pick that up." And when I pick that up, my guy says, "There's some notes here." Like, yeah, okay.
So they definitely took a little page out of what was the game Greedfall, Kalen, where they repeated dialogue lines regardless of whatever happens. I don't know if you remember your issue with that. But sorry for the
it just makes no sense. Like if you had enough time to record the voice line of him telling me that I just picked up paper, which I know because I did it, record a sentence or two about the area that I'm in, the mission that I'm doing, the people that I'm doing it for. You know what I mean? I need that. I need that to tell, like, because I'm not going to go read lore unless, like in Destiny with the Grimoire, I hear something in the game the hive gods or this or that, and I go, wait, what the fuck is they talking about? Like, I'll go search the grimoire and find it, you know?
So, I mean, to be fair, I don't think any game has touched lore almost as well as Destiny
I
has.
disagree.
And,
Dragon
well,
Age.
so
Well, Dragon Age does
Try
a
to-
really good
try-
job too.
Try to read that
So-
codex. It's ridiculous.
so I'm speaking from what lore I have looked into. The fact that Destiny has done the grimoire for D1, which was phenomenal from what I hear. I didn't really play D1. D2, they're what's it called now? They're just
the
lore
lore-
pages,
the
just
lore
the lore
pages.
books.
What's the same thing? Yeah.
But then,
then they
the
have the
fact that
books.
the fact that Destiny kind of orientated everything into chronological order and categorized it as like, this is the lore from the Hive, this is the lore from Warmind, this is the lore from the Vex, or etc., whatever the fuck the third book is.
And those
I'm
are
not
also
sure.
called grimoires too.
Yes. In my opinion, is like they could have done better.
Yeah.
Outriders could have done better with their lore.
Yeah.
But
That's the thing. I don't want Destiny lore, because I understand that or Dragon Age, it's hard to touch. Just give
It's a
me
lot.
something. Like,
Yeah.
give me something I don't have to dig for. Like I said, I don't even care to go look into it because I don't know. It's annoying.
So I mean, at that point, Kalen, I think I had mentioned to you the other day, I had picked up a piece of lore that was like, and it might be further than where you're at in the game, but it was like the First Anomaly, and
I haven't read that one yet.
I haven't. So I'm not reading any of the lore, the lore in games that I don't excessively play, like Destiny. And even still, it's
Yeah.
like I haven't read every piece of lore in Destiny, but I didn't read it. I didn't look at it, but I did notice the title was like, "Hey, the First Anomaly." Stuff like that. Maybe not character lore or
It's background info that you want. It helps immerse you.
right.
Yes.
And
But
that's
that
what I
kind of
like.
stuff. The stuff that is like explaining what's going on around you, not necessarily the people, because the people
Yeah.
we've noticed, you
Die
encounter
fucking
them,
quick.
they can die a second
Holy
fucking
shit.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
the
sniper
next thing on my list. Characters. Like,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I will say this about the lore. I do think that their lore system it's obviously there's none, like, as opposed to, like, there's a lot of pictures and stuff that you can click on. But I don't like that there's not that much. And again, it's not that important. Like, the First Anomaly, I actually just picked up one called the Second Anomaly.
Okay.
So that's intriguing. But like I said, like, I randomly I was gonna find like a stupid little lore like I did last time about them eating bugs, but I was like, I don't want to read through all this bullshit for some silly thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not much, and it's just like, how do they make textiles? How do they make food? It's like, that is crucial for a big game like a Destiny, when you're years down the road, like, oh, these are problems that I would like to know how they overcame them. But as of right now, it's like, I want to know about my enemies, I want to know about the landscape, and I want to know about the background of, like, what the fuck is the anomaly, and like all this shit like this, and first experiences.
Right.
So
So I will
lore's
say to
not great.
that, the further you get in, you do. So it's like I'm a bit further than both of you guys, and I haven't reached in game. There are probably thousands, if not more, people that have already reached in game and
And
are
they've
grinding.
already beaten the fuck out of this game. Yeah.
But so it's like I've reached a point where it's like, oh shit, there's that. Okay, well,
Kyle knows what the anomaly is, basically, is what he's trying to say.
Kinda, yes, but there's a little bit more to it than that, and it's like, I don't want to spoil anything for either one of you guys.
Yeah,
Obviously, you guys want
No,
to
no, no.
figure it out for you. But there is a point where it's like, oh shit, and
but is that a matter of
etc.
the game, like the mission that you're completing, telling you this? Because that's different. The game does missions, and the game does like dialogue
Yes,
while you're
it is
doing
middle
stuff.
mission stuff.
Yeah,
So,
that does that fine. It's just like,
yeah.
I guess more like Kalen said, the immersion, the idea that like it breaks immersion for me, and that's something that I cannot do when I'm playing a video game. Immersion breaks they piss me off. Like,
how immersed are you in your MOBAs? Like, you get real into the story.
well, see, that's multiplayer. If this was
I'm
a
kidding.
multiplayer,
I'm kidding.
no, but like like I said, Destiny, Guild Wars 2 is insane at immersion. Like you're playing
Yeah,
and
it's
before
really
you
good.
know it, it's 6 in the morning and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, what did I just do?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the little golden circle that pops up every time you finish a mission and spins around, I
Yeah.
fucking hate that thing.
Yeah.
It pisses
that's
me
fair.
off. Because it's like
Because
you
it's
just
like
took me out of the game that I'm playing to make me now not play the game, but then warp across the map to start something else that means nothing. Like there's just no like drive
Right.
for me to like be a part of the game. I'm literally just shooting stuff in the head, which I'm fine with. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
I wanted so much more.
Fair.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I break it down to this is, I mean, it's Square Enix, which obviously is a big company, but People Can Fly is like as a smaller company. And I mean, this is the first game, and this is their, I mean, this is a new thing, you know.
I meant to look
So
something up.
they're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and the whole loading screen and the whole stopping what you're doing to load into a different area has a lot to do with the server or not having dedicated servers. So basically, they're thinking of the overall picture of playing with people and playing
Yeah.
with people. So per se, Stevie, you and I playing together. You're on PC, I'm on Xbox. Not having the dedicated servers allows them to al- allows us to play together while at the same time they don't want to put a heavy burden on the server that they have, you know, for the game,
Right.
from running area to area seamlessly, because
Mhm.
A
that
quick
is
fix could be instead of that golden circle, just plant have a flag spot right before a boss battle. So
Yeah.
then
and then you
when
have
you're
to
done
run
with the
back
boss
to the
battle, you
flag
got to run
spot.
back to the
Or
it's,
just
it's
or
that
just
kind
after you do the boss battle, plant a flag. Like you know what I mean? Like right then.
of yeah,
Right,
stuff
kind of
like
like
that. So
Dark
it's like
Souls and how they have the
it's not the
plant
fact of
the fires.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not the quick travel or the fast traveling. It's the fact that there's a golden fucking signal.
Just floating in
Just
the
flip it. Yeah, it's like we have these flags for a reason. Why not put them
right.
in different spots for fast travel purposes instead of this goofy ass? It's
Yep.
like small stuff. I 100% get that.
Fair.
And
Yeah.
I actually I didn't notice it. I was like, oh, this is here, whatever.
Now you
But
will.
it's like I would much more. Yeah, now I won't. Not like now I'll just be pissed off now. But now it's just like, why not just plant
Fucking
a flag
bookmarked.
like on the dead body that I just killed, like that Akari, the fucking giant spider. Like, all right, flag goes here on top of its big titties.
Yeah.
Or you know, was it a girl?
And
It had to be.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I mean,
Big old
that's how
spider
Dark Souls
titties.
does all of their bosses. Like
Yeah.
you kill a boss, as soon as you're done in that boss, in the boss room they have a fire, you know, that you put the sword in, and that's your new fast travel point.
Yeah, and
is
never
that
and
boss.
never
Like,
once did that fire not like signify me resting in the game. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking a break here. I'm not saving my game. I'm not creating a fast travel. I'm taking a break. And that's what that was. That never broke for me. Like
Yeah, I get that. I like that. That's a good point. I didn't
So
think
it's-
about that. Good point.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing is I probably way more of a critic because you know, I also don't feel like it's a $60 game. Like we live in a time of
But
games that
you haven't hit in game yet.
no, that's true. That's true. But even still, like, just right off these things that I'm talking about right now, make it not a $60 game to me. Like, you know what I mean? I've played games that are way better off the bat for $30. You know what I mean? We just live in a time where all games don't have to be $60 now. But since
Yeah,
it has
and it's
Square
also-
Enix's name on it,
It's
Boom.
like music. Every there's so many different types of games. Like you do enjoy a lot different games than I enjoy.
right?
I am like Destiny is probably the only game that's repetitive that I still like. Like I'm a hardcore story driven RPG person. Which brings me
Immersion,
to
fucking let me
which
feel
brings
the
me
character
to
and blah blah blah.
no dialogue. Really, really upsets me. I get it. It's still a small company. It's really hard to. It's expensive to do all this stuff because not only do you have to have that actor have all these lines, now you have to have 300 to 400 extra lines for each dialogue choice and all this shit. So that's very, very expensive. But it is so much fun to have those. Whether it's a whole dialogue, and that's how I like to find out my lore. Like that's how I like to find out background is by talking and not by reading, because when I first played Mass Effect Andromeda, I had 2 different modes. I was sober Kalen, who went out and did all the missions and shot shit, and then drunk Kalen, who would fucking go talk to all the characters. I'm like, where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah.
You're kind of cute.
What's wrong with what happened to your species or your race? Why
Yeah,
did
exactly.
why did your planet get wiped out? And
Because
blah, blah.
I was too drunk to like
Actually
fly
shoot
around and
stuff.
yeah, I couldn't do that.
Right.
But I'm gonna get into the story and get into the meat. But I do really like the cutscenes in this game. The cutscenes are really fun. I like them.
Yeah.
I still don't like
I
the
agree.
man's voice. I don't like his Oh shit.
Wait,
So
your character?
I've
the man's
played as
voice.
a
The man's
male
voice is
character, female
always the same.
character. It's
The
garbage.
female's way better.
The female character, yes, the lady has much better emphasis on where it's required. You know, emphasis on words, emphasis on point of context and shit like that. Where it's like it makes sense. The dude is just
He's just there.
the male voice is just there.
He's got big dick energy. He doesn't care.
And it's like,
Don't
bro,
tell me I can't do this. I'm altered.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
every
yeah,
fucking
like that.
person is like, don't go there. You can't do that. And he's like, did you
He's like,
forget? Hey, me.
Don't you push me. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
it's the same exact lines for the female, but they just sound way better in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
dude came
And that's
in
huge.
with big dick energy, and it doesn't matter. I can say whatever I want and get my point across because I'm gruff.
Yeah.
Right.
But Kyle, actually, I changed my character, and he looks exactly like yours, but I have gray hair and you have black hair.
It's you from the future.
Yeah. No,
The anomaly.
If I look that good. Yeah, if I look that good, I'll be cool. I can actually live in Aspen.
Same.
Because they all look good.
Hey.
Yeah, the dialogue, and then what were you gonna say? What were we saying about the characters, Stevie? They just fucking.
It just none of them matter to me. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Think about your favorite Destiny character, like supporting character, not your own character.
He's dead.
Did they die?
Yeah.
Was it Cade?
Yeah.
It was.
Here's the
Cade,
fucking
yeah.
thing. He's the best character to ever grace a video game, and the only reason it mattered to us so much is because we played a whole video game. Destiny 1. He was through the whole thing. And he went over into Destiny 2, and then this happened. If any other character died, it would feel the same. Selvala, who's the fucking girl? Ikora. It would matter. We know these people. They belong. You know what I mean? The girl in the first mission, she had the cloak with a sniper.
You're shot in the fucking throat.
I was like, dude, this is cool. I've got a crew now. These are my people.
Yeah.
Bang. And I was like, wait, I didn't even get to play one mission with her. And now I'm supposed to care? She got shot once. Fucking.
She also did get shot. And then when you get I feel like Zahidi is obviously part of your crew, but he looks like a shitty version of Hannibal.
Jacoby.
Looks like a shitty version of Hannibal Buress. I don't know if you noticed that, but he looks just.
I didn't.
Not as funny.
But the thing is I remember like sitting down and talking through his dialogue, exhausting his dialogue the first time, and going, "Hey, I actually like this guy. I like his voice actor. I think he sounds great." No, but then the second time I talked to him, I was like, "Wait a minute, this sounds different. Like I don't like this voice, and I don't like how he's delivering it." I didn't know if it was just the way it was recorded, if it was recorded on maybe in a different segment with a different person, but it didn't give me the same feeling. So it's like, I don't know, it's weird. But again, my character sucks. I hate him. I don't get to make any decision.
Yeah.
Not my class, just my character. He's like goofy sometimes, like cracking jokes, and then other times he's breaking people's arms and like being a tough guy.
All over the place.
Yeah.
It's all I'm starting to get into D&D now. I've scratched the surface, and it's like your character is too all over the place. You're too serious. You're too jokey. You two don't give a fuck. Like you can't have all these things. You
make it a decision and
sense.
stick with it.
You know what's the best way to do that? Not have your characters say anything. You know what other game did that?
Destiny.
You didn't say a single fucking word till the second game. Like that's the thing is like. I don't know.
That's a good point.
And that all goes into immersion. Like I said, that's huge for me, especially in an RPG where you're exploring this crazy awesome world. I have to be fully immersed.
How often do you guys stop and look at the surroundings? Like stop and like.
So I was about I was about to touch on that, and that was a note I had made. It was the absolutely gorgeous scenery. It's like all of the maps are well designed. I mean, to the sense of everything looks beautiful. It's like I mean, you can stop and look at out the horizon. You just see like a forest of Enoch, and it looks, in my opinion, very good. Um, and I haven't had an issue with that point. Like I love it. I think it's absolutely amazing.
It is very pretty. Whenever Stevie, I don't know if you've done the cult mission yet in the mountains, the Eagle Peaks where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's like two missions you get. One of them you go fuck around in this like a laboratory, pretty much. It's kind of
Mhm.
fun. And another one you do is like looking for missing soldiers, and you have to fight this cult. And like once you start working your way up to the cult leader, there's like anomaly shit going all around. Like it's not the storm, but it's like rocks
Mm-hmm.
floating and stuff. And I actually stopped for like 5 minutes and was just like looking out because you're like mountains and then there's this blue shit flying everywhere. It's real pretty.
Yo, yeah. And
Um,
here's the thing: you have to imagine that, no like disrespect to consoles or anything, but I'm playing on PC, so I could turn all that
Looks
shit
phenomenally
That's
good.
100%
Right.
up. It all looks
Mhm.
great. The only thing that I don't like, as far as like environments and stuff, is like, again, I'm just blowing through this stuff. I'm at like a snowy mountain, and then I'm in like a swampy area, and then I'm in like there was no like, I didn't feel like it made sense.
there's no transition.
It's
There's
like
no
I'm in a
gradient.
city, I'm in a swamp, I'm in a mountain.
Yeah.
There's some snow. Here's
Yeah.
a lava volcano. Like, wait, what? Where the hell? What is going on? I
But
do
to
love
be
it
fair,
all.
to be fair,
To be
they
fair.
did. To be fair, they did announce with the game that it was a drop in, drop out setting.
Hmm.
So if you look at the map and you are you are progressing, horizontally through this map from the start area to where I'm at now. I mean, has been 5 to 6 different environmental changes, and I mean, yes, you're not visually seeing that transition, but it is still there. Like, I mean, if you take a second to think about it, is like you're in a truck driving from this point to this point. It
Yeah,
would take a whole lot more capacity of the game to throw that in there. Whether you're looking out the window of a truck or an aerial view of watching your truck drive from this point to this point,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
It is there. You're just not visually
Yeah. It's got to be in
seeing
your
anything.
imagination because that's
Hmm.
how
Exactly.
Mass Effect and Dragon Age are. Like they're drop in, drop out, and you go from the Storm Coast to the hinterlands to this desert place over here. You just
Oh
like,
yeah.
all right, I'm going over here now. I'm going over here
Yeah.
now. It's
Like
different, and
like you said, it's the same with Destiny. You go from Titan to Io to all these different planets that are completely different. The only difference
Yeah.
is every single time it shows you fly through space. So that connection is
yeah, the
there. It's
loading
shown
screen.
to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is a
Um,
bit more personal at that point.
which
yeah.
yeah, I get. I mean, and like I said, I have no qualm with just being in these different areas. It's fine. I wish I could stay in them a little bit longer, explore them a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
Which you will get, just a little bit
yeah,
of hope in the darkness. You do get to go back once you hit a certain point. You do get to go back and kind of explore things a little bit more
yeah.
with viable missions and shit to do and stuff. So
I think a lot of my
Oh, the expeditions.
nope, not even
that's
not not
different.
not even the
Do you have
expeditions.
expeditions,
Expeditions are
Stevie?
in-game stuff.
No,
Oh, I
not
thought.
until the very very end. But they said that it would be
Oh,
not. It'd be
Yeah,
new stuff.
it's not reskinned or rehashed fucking maps or environments that you've been in. It's completely new areas every
that's kind of
expedition you
cool.
go to. So
Um,
no,
but yeah, like I said, I think a lot of my issues are I'm still really early into the game. I think I got a really bad start because all the DCs and stuff kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Every single time I'd get DC'd, I'd have to start a mission over where I was
yeah,
almost finished with, like fighting the last
That
monster.
sucks.
Boom, I
mhm,
start over. So that was always that. All those things were really a bummer for me. But now that I'm in and going, it feels good. Like I said,
yeah,
I enjoy shooting stuff. That's fine. Like,
same. And the guns are cool, and the mods are cool, and the
And
fucking abilities are cool.
what I like when we were so excited, I was super excited about Anthem. I know it's not comparatively to Anthem, but when you get farther into Anthem, the guns don't do shit.
Yeah.
Remember, Kyle? Like, it's all abilities. It's all
Yeah.
like basically the triggers that you like, the combinations you can do. This game, the guns do a fuckload. Like,
Yeah.
and they do, especially the automatic shotgun that I have right now. It is just lighting fuckers up. And like, you can tell when you're starting to get behind, like whenever things are leveling up, it's like, fuck, I need a new gun soon because this this thing is not as cool as it used to be, and it's not worth upgrading
And
right now.
your abilities don't do as much either at the same time. Like you
Yeah.
there's a noticeable difference from level to level that it's like, oh shit, my guns aren't doing anything. Oh shit, my abilities aren't doing anything. I need to find new things or find new guns and find new mods and or new higher level gear
Yeah.
in order to make my abilities more effective or my guns more effective or mods to make your guns more effective, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah, and that's kind of why like I move around a lot. Like if I have a mission in one area, I'll go to the I don't finish all the area. Usually I finish all the quests in the area, but I like the experience and I like it's like a grind. Like I'm not moving on super far in the story yet, but it doesn't matter because you're at this world tier. Everything's going to stay the same. But
no.
if I feel like I need some more practice, I'm going to leave an area and then come back for another quest, and then everything will be respawned. So then I just fight back through it again. Like I've fought back through the Eagle Peaks area 2 or 3 times now, just because I keep leaving and coming back and doing other shit, just because I want that. Like, well, I don't think I'm ready for the next mission. I'm gonna clear a few more rooms and try and get some more blues, or at least get some mods or something.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like you can grind quite a bit if you so choose to.
And
which
it's more
which I like.
efficient.
Oh yeah.
Grinding is compared to Destiny. Is
I'm
like the Destiny
constantly getting
grind is
shit.
just
Well, we're at in game in Destiny. It's a we're
Fair.
still not even close to in, or at least I'm not. But like, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing like that was very problematic to me was I am a in the demo it seemed like a lot of the little places I would find nooks and crannies would benefit me. Right now it seems like they don't. Like there was only like 2 or 3 spots where I was like, "Oh, there's got to be something back here that that there was." Most of the time it's
in
like,
the early parts, yeah.
Here's a door and there's something around here and there's nothing. Like every time and I'm like, "Wait, why the fuck would you even build this little area?" And then
so a lot of that has to do with those points are accessible later.
later, I know, and I figured
once
that
you
out.
clear the area, they're there.
There was like a staircase to a little thing, and I was like, "Oh, what's up here? There's a thing going down. Maybe I can go down there." And blah blah blah. No, it was a later mission that I had to come back to and then go in that area, which again breaks immersion for me because there's nothing better in a game than ending up in a spot that you're not supposed to be in. You know what I mean? And something just ripping the shit out of you and going, "Holy fuck, I'm not supposed to be here. I need to, Skyrim or anything."
There's also nothing more frustrating than I hate clearing out an area and not knowing why the fuck I just went over there, and then going back and then fuck, I gotta run back to where I just fucking was because now I have the mission that takes me over there.
Yeah.
So I get it. I do, but like I do kind of like how you can't start an area until you have that mission. Because like in my brain, I'm like, what's over here? I'm like, oh, I can't go over here, but I will get to later.
Yeah.
But I don't want to miss stuff. But it's like, I don't want to fucking clear out all this bullshit and then get to a cave and go, there's nothing here. And then
or miss something.
Turn in a quest and like, oh, now you got to go to this cave. Like, the fucking cave
I was just fucking
at.
there, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you mean that blue orb that I was like, man, I bet that blue orb is something I have to pick up, but now I can fucking pick it up. Cool.
Right.
Like that shit pisses me off. That's how kind of Dragon Age is sometimes. Like,
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. But anything else you had that you didn't get to talk about, or?
Man, I just wish I had more legendaries. I wish I had more mods. You know, at that point, it just takes more playing of the game. But I had a lot of fun playing Devastator. I have all of the skills for I have all the skills for Trickster, and I still find myself where I'm at in the game, still using the first 4 abilities. You know, and 3 of those 4. So it's like I try to touch a couple of them.
It's scary
later skills and it's
to branch out, but it's like that's how I was with Tremor. The Tremor move. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like. It sucks that you only get 3 abilities because you really have to pick.
Yeah.
But then, like, once you get a new one, I'm like, I'll try it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I tried those new abilities and it was like, oh, shit. Well, those aren't working out too hot for me. So I'd fucking just backtrack and put on mods to my gear that made those better, but I also haven't tried entire like mod swapping everything on my gear to affect those abilities better. But I am comfortable with using what I've got where I'm at, you know.
Right.
Does the purple
So,
armor have 2 mods on it too?
yes.
Nice.
Purple has 2. Legendary, I would have so I think legendaries have 2. Purple, let me go back to my guns have 2 as purple. Armor has 2 as purple. So I'm not sure, but I also have, so I was like, I have legendary gear or legendary weapons. They still have 2.
They have
I
2
don't
slots.
know if I don't know if the legendary gear will have 2 or 3 slots. I do know when you change out a piece of gear or a mod on a armor piece, you are on weapon or armor, you lock whatever one you don't change.
Yeah, it
So
stays
it's
in
like
there.
you are basically allowed to change one mod no matter what. As soon as you change one mod on a piece of gear, the whatever one you don't choose to change stays. It is locked into place. You can't change that mod at all. Which is can put a hindrance
It's limiting,
on your
but
stuff.
it's not letting you be completely fucking overpowered. Is kind of what
right,
is
exactly.
stopping. Yeah.
It's their what's Destiny's term for it?
Sunsetting.
Nerfing. It's not sunsetting. Don't use that. Sunsetting has been sunsetted. But it is their way of nerfing essentially two powerful builds.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, yes, you want to be allowed in a PvE game to do whatever you can or want, but at the same time, you can't be a fucking god in the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, where the fuck is Seth?
Seth
Haven't
is
seen him
doing
yet.
Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen him.
As long
I've
as he
seen
comes
him.
back. That was like the only character that I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll fuck with this dude.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet either.
So yeah, you guys still have a lot to experience in the story. I mean, and I'm pretty sure I'm still not maybe a quarter way through the traversal system or just the story in general. So it's like I'm sure shit's gonna change, and I mean, the shit just happened. Like before we started recording, I was playing. The shit that happened was like,
oh damn.
that wait a second, what the fuck?
Plot
So
twist.
it's like, yeah, well, I mean, it's a minimal plot twist, but it's still, it's like, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck just happened? How did that happen? And I mean, it just raises questions and stuff, and I'm excited to see what is answered and what we get on in-game content. So,
Well, that's cool. I'm excited for that.
yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be it for
At that point,
it. We can just say goodbye, and then I will pause the recording because I do want to talk about one more thing. But thank you guys for hanging out and listening to us talk about games. We catch us next week. We'll try to put out episode 2.
episode 2, 2.5,
2.5.
2.
1.
We got a 0.5. This is 1.
Yep,
Next
and then
week.
that'll be 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair.
Bye.
Cool.
See ya.
Peace.